folks who aren't here. Well, Eunice will have it recorded now. So most folks are familiar with Guess Who. Good. And the general idea, just to remind you if you're not familiar, the general idea behind Guess Who is that there are, as you see, a bunch of characters and you choose one. All right, so you as the computer in this case are going to choose one of the characters, and it's up to the user to keep asking questions and try to narrow it down to which of these characters corresponds with the one that's chosen. So the user might ask, what is the hair color? Or is the hair color red? Or it depends on how you set this up. You can ask it in a variety of different ways. Might ask about the eye color, might ask about whether the selected character is wearing glasses. There's a variety of different things that you can ask about, and based on those questions, then the winner in an actual game of Guess Who, the winner is the one who guesses the other person's character first. In the computer version that we'll be making at some point, it's can you basically get it in the fewest number of guesses. So you would just basically be playing against yourself, trying to see if you could guess the computer's character in the least number of guesses possible. So that's the general idea. It helps us use things like dictionaries. So in our version, the game should have at least 5 different characters. Obviously, the more characters you have, the more difficult it makes the whole game. The more challenging it makes it. Each character needs to have a name, a gender, a age, a height, and a hair color. I strongly recommend when you make these variables within the dictionary that you make them single words, or camel case, meaning get rid of a space if you have hair color. When the game begins, characters should be randomly selected by the computer. Any one of those characters. And in this version, we're trying to, the player can ask for 2 pieces of information about the random character, and then has to make a guess as to who was picked. Now, you could make a different variant if you wanted to, make it more challenging for yourself. And you could say, we're going to allow the player to ask, like, what is the hair red? And then you as the computer can say yes or no. Is the character under 40? Is the character, whatever. So in this version, you need to use characters that people are familiar with. So you could use characters from some sort of game, from some sort of movie, from a TV show. And that way the user would understand in general what kinds of characters you're talking about. So you could do something with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and you could say, all right, these are the Avengers. All right, and you get to ask 2 questions. You could ask for hair color, and you could ask for age, for example. So here are a few things that you might want to keep in mind using when programming. And ignore the stuff on the right. I just repurposed a slide, so just ignore this stuff here. But if we wanted to make a character, we could make that character a dictionary. So random person 1 is the character, right? The name is Joe, the gender is M for male, the age is 16, the height is 70, the hair is brown. So this is using a dictionary in order to store this information. I could make a list. So people would be a list of all of my characters. Obviously, this would be longer. And that would help me to randomly choose one. I can make a list of selected people if I wanted to make this a little bit more advanced. If the user said, all right, you know, I'm gonna guess male. And so you could find all the ones that are male this way. So I'm just kind of throwing a little bit of code at you that you could use in order to code this. You may not want to go this direction at all, but this is some general code that will help you start with the Guess Who game. We won't be getting to the Guess Who game just yet, but I wanted to throw this out for you so that you understood in general what the expectation is and how to use a dictionary to help solve this problem. Questions so far?
Can you link this lecture after this is done?
It is. This is what is linked currently to the week of, what is it, 420 to 424. And this is the second part. So you'll see it start like 5 or 6 slides in. So the expectations for the behavior of your project, it should have several commands. One command should be list. And if the user types list, then it should list out all the characters' names. If the user types gender, age, height, or hair, then it should give that characteristic for the selected character. When the user types guess name, then the next question the computer should ask is, what is the name, or what is the name that you think this character is named, and then it'll compare. Help will display all of the commands, and quit will exit the game. So a little bit like Text Monster, but hopefully much less complicated, because we're not worried about complexity in this one. This one, we're concerned about how well you can use a dictionary and loops. Questions about the behavior or the commands? All right, so the rest of the time, we have time to be working on projects. So open whatever project that you're working on. Let me know what you're working on. I think I know where most of you are, but kind of confirm for me so I can make sure I'm looking at the right thing.